Hello, welcome to yet another interesting topic from IILR Academy. I am Sanket. Today's topic is molecular basis of eye color. You must have seen a lot of people, and sometimes you must have noticed their eye color. Some of them are green, some of them are grey, some of them are blue, and some, the most common eye color, which is the brown, deep brown or almost black eye color. Do you know which portion of the eye is colored? It is the iris. Yes, the same iris which also controls the opening and closing of the pupil from which the light enters into our eye. So how is the eye color determined? The eye color is determined by varying degrees of the pigment melanin. The melanin is produced by melanocytes which are present inside the iris of the eye. You must have noticed that a lot of people have bluer or greener eyes, but they are not actually blue or green, but it is actually because of the different concentration of brown pigment melanin. Let's have a look at this diagram. As you can see, on the left hand side there are number of melanocytes in the iris, and on the right hand side it shows the color of the eye. In the first picture you can see there are a lot many melanosomes, hence more amount of the brown pigment melanin, and the color of the eye is deep brown. The second picture shows a fewer number of melanosomes, hence lesser amount of melanin, and it is showing somewhat a lighter shade of brown. In the third picture you can see there are extremely less number of melanosomes, hence very less amount of melanin inside the melanocyte, hence the eye color is blue. Now we will see afterwards in the later slides what actually makes the eye look blue or green. For now, let's come to what genes are responsible for maintaining this eye color. There are basically two genes. One is the OCA2 gene, which is also called as P gene, and its name is oculocutaneous albinism 2 gene. The other one is HERC2 gene, which is HECT and RLD domain containing E3 ubiquitin protein ligase 2 gene. These both genes are present on chromosome number 15, and these two, along with some other genes, are most important for maintenance of the eye color. Now let's have a look at how melanin is actually synthesized inside the eye or the iris. You know that there is a hormone which is called as melanocyte stimulating hormone secreted by the pituitary gland. There are receptors on melanocytes which are called as MC1R receptors or melanocortin 1 receptors. These receptors, when come in contact with the MSH, it integrates a signaling cascade which then stimulates OCA2 gene, which we just saw is important for maintenance of the eye color. This OCA2 gene undergoes the transcription process and then forms a protein which is called as P protein. We have also seen that OCA2 gene was formerly called as the P gene due to the same reason that it forms P protein. Now this P protein is a membrane bound transporter protein which allows tyrosine, which is an amino acid, from outside the cell to inside the cell. Once tyrosine enters into the cell, it is acted upon an enzyme which is called as tyrosinase, and in the presence of oxygen it forms DOPA or dihydroxyphenylalanine. This DOPA, again in the presence of oxygen, forms dopaquinone. Now this dopaquinone undergoes a cascade of reactions and it forms pheomelanin and eumelanin. You might notice that there is a difference in the color of pheomelanin and eumelanin. It is because eumelanin is more on the browner shade and pheomelanin is more on the redder shade. Now let's talk about the other gene which is also important in maintenance of the eye color, which is the HERC2 gene. On its mutation, it suppresses the OCA2 gene, therefore no transcription of OCA2 takes place and no P protein is formed. When no P protein is formed, the outside tyrosine cannot enter inside the cell and therefore no eumelanin or pheomelanin is formed, and therefore less amount of brown pigment is present in the iris. There is another pigment which is called as lipochrome, which is produced by the ECIL1 gene that imparts yellow color. Let's come back to the same topic that we left earlier, which is how concentration of melanin affects the eye color. Now, the eye color depends upon the presence of melanin in the back of the iris, iris epithelium, iris stroma, and density of melanocytes in the stroma. Let's see a situation in which the concentration of melanin at the back of the iris is more as compared to that in stroma. The person will tend to have bluer eyes. It is because more amount of light is scattered inside the stroma. Whenever the concentration of melanin is more at the back, the longer wavelength from the light are absorbed there, and the shorter wavelength, which is like blue, tend to scatter inside the stroma. This is the same principle which happens when we look at the sky and it appears to be bluer in color. When we actually go and dissect an eye, we get to see that the person, even who has bluer eyes, actually has brown eyes only. It is only because of this scattering the eyes appear blue. Let's take another example. When the concentration of melanin at the back of the iris is more than in stroma but has some deposition of collagen, then the person will have grayer eyes. Whenever the concentration of melanin at the back of the iris is almost equal to that of the stroma, then there is a lot of melanin inside, and then the color of the eye will be deep brown or almost black. Another situation in which the concentration of melanin at the back of the iris is almost equal to that of stroma, but with some depositions of the pigment lipochrome, then the person will have somewhat amber like strands with the brown color of the eye. I hope now you must have understood how eye color is determined on a molecular basis and what actually means when a person has bluer or greener eyes, that he almost has brown eyes, but it is only due to the scattering that they appear in different shades of color. There are a lot many enzymes and genes that also help in determination of the eye color, but the two main that we have studied are most important, and some other reasons, like for example, if a person has albinism, then there is extremely less amount of melanin throughout the body and also then the iris, and the person will have bluer eyes. I hope you must have understood the brief explanation about how eye color is determined inside our bodies. I wish you would like and share our video, subscribe to our channel, and also press that bell icon so whenever a new video is uploaded, you will get the notification on your device. Thank you very much.